Alan Ritchson shares incredible reason he was originally rejected for Reacher role. Alan Ritchson's portrayal of Jack Reacher in the Amazon Prime Video series Reacher has been a massive success for the latest adaptation of Lee Child's novels in all senses of the word. However, Ritchson's casting in the role was not a surefire thing, and the actor has revealed how he was forced to push to get the part when, incredibly, his lack of height became a stumbling block. At a massive 6'3" tall, with a girth that can block a doorway, Ritchson appears to be the perfect embodiment of the action hero, and certainly a step up from Tom Cruise's appearance as the character in 2 movies. But it seems that at one point, the relatively small matter of 2 inches almost lost Ritchson the role he seems to have been born to play. Speaking with Michael Rosenbaum on the Inside of You podcast, Ritchson shared his reflective thoughts on his casting, noting particularly that he was originally not in the running for the role thanks to him not being quite as tall as his novel-based counterpart. Ritchson said, "I fought really hard for Reacher. It took months and months and months to convince everybody that I was the guy. You know, I was passed on the first time. I was passed on in the very beginning of the process like everybody was. And I think that's because I'm 6'3" and Reacher's 6'5". I think they were trying to, everybody's trying to get a super authentic version of Reacher on screen. So there's always kind of an asterisk in my mind when it comes to this role. But I had to really fight for that, and now that we're in it, the career's exploded because of what happened when Reacher aired." Lee Child's written version of Jack Reacher, a former military police officer turned drifter, is known for his imposing physique and sharp investigative skills. The character has been a fixture in Child's novels since his debut in 1997's The Killing Floor, which was adapted as the first season of the Prime Video series. The challenge of bringing such a well-established character to life on screen required an actor with both the physical presence and acting prowess to convincingly portray the iconic figure. Enter Alan Ritchson, an actor whose career has spanned various genres and roles, and more importantly, a man with a very impressive and imposing appearance. His casting as Jack Reacher was met with enthusiasm, particularly for matching the character's physical description from the novels. The question of whether a missing couple of inches mattered to fans was never one that was really addressed, as everything about Ritchson screamed that he was being put into the role of a character he was built to play. The series and Ritchson's performance have been well received by both critics and audiences. Fans of the novels have particularly appreciated this more faithful adaptation of the character. Ritchson's portrayal has been lauded for staying true to the spirit of Lee Child's creation, providing a satisfying experience for longtime fans while attracting new viewers to the Reacher saga. With the show already renewed for a 3rd season, it seems that any doubts over Ritchson's casting are now only there to be reminisced on, as it is hard to imagine that the result could have been improved with anyone else in the role. Reacher's first 2 seasons are available to stream on Prime Video. Alan Ritchson shares incredible reason he was originally rejected for Reacher role. When Alan Ritchson was cast as the lead in Reacher, Amazon's hit series based on the popular Jack Reacher novels by Lee Child, fans celebrated the casting. Ritchson seemed the perfect embodiment of the massive, brooding hero, his 6'2" frame, intense physicality, and steely demeanor aligning perfectly with the character fans had come to know in the books. However, few people know that Ritchson was initially rejected for the role. In a surprising twist, he recently opened up about the unexpected reason he didn't land the part right away. In a candid interview, Ritchson reflected on his casting journey, explaining how his early auditions for Reacher left him feeling optimistic. But soon, that optimism turned to disappointment when he was informed that he wasn't going to get the role. The reason? He didn't appear to be big enough. For those unfamiliar with the character, Jack Reacher is described in Child's novels as a man of immense stature, standing at 6'5" with a rugged physique, weighing 250 pounds of pure muscle. He is a towering, intimidating force, not only because of his size, but also his unrelenting willpower and combat expertise. When fans of the novels learned that the Reacher series would finally get a television adaptation, they were vocal about wanting the casting to honor the larger-than-life qualities of the beloved protagonist. So when Ritchson first walked into the audition, the producers weren't convinced he could physically embody the essence of Jack Reacher. While he was undeniably tall and well-built by most standards, he wasn't quite as massive as the Reacher described in the books. Ritchson humorously recalled, "I walked into that room feeling confident. I thought, I've got this. But apparently I didn't look big enough. It was a weird critique to hear. I was too small for Reacher." The irony, of course, was that Ritchson is by no means small. Standing at 6'2" and boasting a muscular frame, he was already an imposing figure. But the pressure to find someone who fit Reacher's superhuman physicality was high, especially after the fan backlash from previous Jack Reacher portrayals. Many fans were disappointed with Tom Cruise's casting in the 2012 film adaptation. While Cruise delivered a solid performance at 5'7", he was nowhere near the towering physical presence that Reacher is supposed to be. In fact, the decision to cast Cruise left a lingering demand from fans for a more physically accurate representation. The creators of Amazon's Reacher series were determined to honor that desire, and as a result, Ritchson's early auditions left producers unsure if he could match the physically overwhelming character. However, the story doesn't end with rejection. After some time had passed, Ritchson got another call. This time, it was to inform him that the producers had reconsidered. Despite their initial hesitation, they couldn't deny that Ritchson had captured the essence of Jack Reacher in his audition. His performance, presence, and understanding of the character's psychological depth shone through, even if he wasn't exactly 6'5" and 250 pounds. Reflecting on the second chance, Ritchson explained, "They realized that it wasn't just about size. There's more to Reacher than being a big guy. Sure, he's physically imposing, but what makes him dangerous is his mind, his ability to think several steps ahead, and his unshakable sense of justice." In that moment, Ritchson understood what the role demanded, not just physicality, but the psychological complexity that has made Jack Reacher such an enduring and beloved character. To prepare for the role, Ritchson committed himself to intense physical training to bulk up as much as possible. He worked with trainers and nutritionists, pushing his body to its limits. By the time filming began, Ritchson had managed to pack on even more muscle, coming closer to the vision the producers had in mind. Though still slightly shorter than the Reacher of the books, Ritchson's sheer physical presence, combined with his nuanced performance, ultimately made him the perfect choice. The response from both critics and fans has been overwhelmingly positive. Ritchson's portrayal of Jack Reacher struck the right balance between raw physical power and cerebral intensity, breathing new life into the character. He managed to capture both the formidable strength and the quiet, calculating intelligence that defines Reacher. Fans who had long been waiting for a more faithful adaptation of the character praised Ritchson's performance as everything they had hoped for. In hindsight, the initial rejection feels like a strange footnote in what has since become a success story. Ritchson's journey to becoming Jack Reacher is a reminder of how unpredictable Hollywood can be, even for someone as talented and physically capable as him. It's also a testament to the idea that sometimes it's not just about fitting a physical mold, it's about capturing the spirit of the character. Today, Alan Ritchson wears the role of Jack Reacher with pride, having proven that he was the right man for the job, even if he didn't meet the exact specifications at first glance. His performance in Reacher has not only won over longtime fans of the novels, but has also introduced a new generation to one of literature's most iconic heroes.